Hello and welcome to episode 326 of the Daily Sales Message Podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. In today's episode, we're talking about this notion that retention is better than acquisition. Retention is better than acquisition. You shouldn't be in the selling business, you should be in the reselling business, retaining people. One of the hardest things you can do in business is to turn a non-buyer into a buyer. One of the simplest things, I'm not going to say easiest, one of the simplest things you can do is to renew that person and get them to buy from you again. So in your business, you have to have a focus on how do we sell more or sell repeatedly to the people that we already know that already buy from us. Placing a focus there is far more effective than simply focusing on getting more new people through the door. Obviously, client acquisition is important. We want to be doing that, want to be finding more new potential clients to bring into our world, into our flywheel, so to speak. Absolutely. But so many people miss a trick in terms of getting people to buy more from them or be repeat buyers. So a thinking experiment for you today is to look at your offering and consider a couple of things. How could we have some kind of consumable element that we can charge people, whether it's time or whether it's an actual thing where they'll pay for it, use it, need it again, pay for it, use it, need it again. So there's a consumable element in there. Could you have a kind of recurring revenue element where they pay for access to something, whether it's a system or a person or a license for technology or whatever? But could we have a recurring revenue system where they're paying repeatedly for something? Could we also have downsells, cheaper things that they could buy, and upsells, more expensive things that they could buy? It's the culmination of downsells, upsells, recurring revenue, and consumables. Within that mix of potential things, that's where reselling to people is possible. And that is one of the simplest, again, I'm not going to say easiest, one of the simplest things you can do to generate more revenue in your business is to sell more or sell again to the people that already know you. Because trying to convert somebody into a buyer is one of the hardest things in business. Lots of businesses struggle with that. It takes a lot more energy, takes less energy to get somebody who already trusts you to buy something else from you because you have the relationship there in the first place. So today, rather than me telling you what to do, I want you to think about this in your business, particularly if you have the kind of one-time customer problem where people buy and then that's it and they never come back. Could you have an upsell? Could you have a downsell? Could you have a consumable? Could you have some kind of ongoing recurring revenue model where you charge for access to something? Those are a few of the simple mechanisms you can use to make more money from those people, but also you're going to make more money because you're helping them. You're adding more value for them over the long term. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow in episode 327, I'm going to talk about one of my most favorite things to do in a sales conversation, to take back control. To take back control of the conversation, but in a way that the person doesn't know, they're not offended by it. Actually, it's quite a good thing. And I'll explain why in tomorrow's episode. God, I'm so cryptic, aren't I? In the meantime, if you haven't already, hop on over to sellingconfidencescore.com where you will find a 20 yes/no question quiz where you can get a personalized score on how well you're doing at sales and selling, where you could possibly improve, and you'll get a simple action plan of results, things you can improve today. And like this podcast is completely free. Thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I do appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow. I love that I don't edit these anymore. I'll catch you tomorrow as I stifle it. I don't even stifle you on us. I just yawn at you. I'll catch you tomorrow for another exciting, hopefully less yawny edition of the Daily Sales Message Podcast. Thanks for bearing with me.